it's Betsy, and today we have a fun video, one that I'm really excited to film, and that is over the new BK Beauty True Beauty Eyeshadow Palette. Now, I purchased this palette myself from BK Beauty's website. Now, I did use Britt Clark's code, which is Britches10, to save 10% off this palette, but it is just a true basic neutral palette, which I think for a first launch is always a good thing to start with. I mean, this is the tones that most people wear. Most people aren't like me and will rock a heavy purple eye every day. You know what I'm saying? So I'm super excited to test out their formula because if y'all know and y'all watch me, I am obsessed with the BK Beauty brushes. I own all of them and I need to order another one of these brushes. They finally got this back in stock, just to let you know. This is the BK Beauty 101 brush. I just washed them, that's why it's clean. This is the best foundation brush I have ever tried. And like, I have a ton of foundation brushes and that is my go-to favorite. It's better than the Artis brushes, which I paid so much more money for. Now, BK Beauty is a woman-owned business. Lisa J, who's on YouTube, her and her husband own this brand. They are based out of Austin, Texas, and BK stands for Beauty and Kindness, which I think is a very lovely sentiment, especially in the trying times that we have going on. So we're gonna do a basic neutral look, which I think my eyes could probably use a little bit of rest considering I've been using like the melt palettes every day. Okay, so I've already primed my eyes with the Gerard Cosmetics Clean Canvas Base. So we're gonna start by swatching these out. Ooh, that feels really nice. This is Beam. Ooh. They feel so soft, which that typically tells me it's going to be an easy blend. That's Brooklyn, Grace, Beauty. So again, as you can see, those are more of your warm tone neutrals. Then we have Amore, Ambition, Glow, and Kate. So we have Amore, Ambition, Glow, Kate. That purple's beautiful. I may use that today. Y'all know I'm gonna go for the only colors that aren't super neutral in here. But we're still gonna do a neutral look. Kind Vibes, Love, Queen, and Dream. So Kind Vibes, Love, Queen, and Dream. So that is, as I said, a very neutral palette, and I am a very medium skin tone, and the only ones that are super light, which I think are great for highlighting, are the first two shades, but most of the other shades are gonna work well on my complexion. So I think this will even work on deeper skin tones. So again, I am excited to play with this. I think Kinky Sweat, was it Kinky Sweat that did a video over this? I can't remember. I've watched so many waiting for my palette to come in. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna start off with e.l.f. eye tapes. Y'all know, if you watch me, this is the drill. We're going to go old school, not really old school, but yeah. This is what I do every single time. And I think I'm gonna create just your basic neutral look, but add like that Kate shade on the lid because I cannot not go for the purple. So I'm gonna grab my BK Beauty 201 brush. Again, if you watch me, you know that I use these all the time. Picks up nice on the pan. This is the shade Beam. So it's this color. Now there is some fallout, which again, I don't mind because, well, that's why I always do my eyes first. So I'm just taking and using Beam to set my eyelid. because we're gonna try to use as many colors in this look as possible. Now, whenever I'm doing a colorful look, I typically don't set down my eyeshadow primer. And excuse my face, something is not agreeing with my skin. So like, I am so totally broke out. It is not even funny. I've never had acne like this before. Okay, so next I'm gonna go into the shade Grace right here, or should I do Love? I think I'm gonna do Love. Do I wanna do Love? Yep, let's do Love. So, Love on the same brush, and we're just gonna start by building that into the crease. Okay, so one thing I will definitely say about this formula is it is more of a buildable formula. This is the third dip in, and you can really start to see the pigmentation. But for a lot of people, that is what you look for in an eyeshadow, you know? A lot of times, and this is from my personal experience, because I am no eyeshadow expert. I have tried a bajillion formulas, but I am no eyeshadow expert. But I prefer a formula that you can kind of build up and blend out. There are some formulas that are too pigmented and then they don't want to blend out, or you have to change your method. And again, I don't feel like I should have to change my method to do eyeshadow. Like, I should be able to do eyeshadow the way that I want to do eyeshadow. You know what I'm saying? So that is looking really, really good. So I think I'm gonna go grab a different brush. We're gonna grab a BK Beauty. This is the 202, which is still a fluffy shader. So if you look at the 201, cover my face so you can see it, it is more of a domed shader brush. Great for blending out. Now, the 202, as you can see, is a little bit more pointed, but it's still nice and fluffy. So it'll still pack on the pigment, but it gets into that crease a little bit better. And I'm going into the shade Kind Vibes, which is the color right here on the end, because I want to kind of build up that crease. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, Vern? Do y'all remember Ernest P. Worrell? When I was a kid, I loved those movies. I talked about yesterday how I did not have the best childhood. I spent a lot of time alone, and reading and movies were like my favorite thing in the world. So I will honestly say that I am like a pop culture nut because I'm so attached to the characters because they were family. That makes sense. So as you can see, it definitely is building up, and it's giving me a little bit more of a pink tint, because this is almost a mauve tone, whereas Love is more of like a light poopy brown, which I love a good light poopy brown. Don't get me wrong. Okay, so I think what I'm gonna hit next is the shade Queen right here, which is more of, it's a deeper brown, but it is a cooler tone brown. And I'm using the same brush, and we're just gonna keep that on the outer eyelid. You know, and I've said this before, I do eyeshadow based on my eyes. I mean, don't get me wrong, I can do pretty looks on other people and have, but you know, I'm better at working on my own face. You know, I've been doing it for so long. So you can definitely see how that's built up some pigmentation. It's a beautiful, beautiful color. Okay. But yeah, no. I went into the wrong shade. There we go. I love, love, love this so much. Like, this would be a good palette, like, who knows, I might get this for my mother-in-law and my sister-in-law for Christmas, because this is their type of palette too. So I'm gonna go into the shade Dream, which is more of this eggplant shimmer, but it's not super shimmery. Oh yeah, to give myself even more depth, because I like a dark, grungy look. And I am one of those people, I don't care. I'll put shimmers in the crease if it achieves the end goal that I want it to. Oh yeah. But I will say there is so much fallout. It's not even funny. So just so you know. But again, this is why I do my eyeshadow the way that I do. So I'm just kind of keep building it up and packing it on. Okay, liking how that looks. Isn't that pretty? Okay. So I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm gonna take my BK Beauty 201 brush one more time, and this is something I always like to do to kind of make sure everything's nice and soft, is go back over and make sure everything's nice and blended. Now, one brush that I don't think BK Beauty makes, because I think I own every single BK Beauty brush, is like a flat packer brush, which to me, they're a dime a dozen, and the cheaper the brush, the better. This is a ColourPop one. This is what I like to use whenever I'm doing this type of look. So we're gonna take our Too Faced glitter glue, okay? Apply a little bit to the lid. Where'd my brush go? So I'm gonna take my ColourPop, I don't remember what brush this is, E4. There we go. And blend out the glitter glue. And I'm gonna start with the shade Dream on the very outside edge, again for depth. Because you see how much darker that went now? Because you can blend it out to be a pretty shade, don't get me wrong. But that gives me the depth that I want. So I'm gonna wipe that off. And we're gonna go into the shade Kate. Picking up beautifully on the brush. And we're going to apply that all over the center eyelid. That is a beautiful purple tone. Beautiful. That is something that I love. It's a little pinky. Pretty. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Okay, wipe that off. And then last but not least, I'm gonna go into the shade Ambition, which is more of like a light pink shimmer. Not super light, but almost that mauve-y tone, to really kind of add a little bit more depth into the look. Because y'all know, I can't do just like a single shimmer. I want to try them all. Okay. So I'm just going back over with my 201 brush. There we go. Making sure everything is blended. Taking off my eye tapes. There we go. My printer's deciding to go off, so excuse the noise. Wipe away any of the fallout. That's the nice thing about doing your eye makeup first. And see, with those e.l.f. tapes, now, I'll kind of explain to you why I always use the e.l.f. tapes, because, you know, as you get older, things start to sag. It's not as pretty and perfect as it was before. So, whenever I use those e.l.f. tapes, you see how it pulls the line of my eye up? So, it's like an instant facelift. That's why I like to do it. So, I'm going to go off camera, do the rest of my makeup, and we'll come back and do the lower lash line and talk about my thoughts on the palette. So I'm back and I have the rest of my face on. I used the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude Glow for my highlight. I used the Lunar Beauty Moon Prism Blush Palette, and I used the shade Spacey right here, this pinky tone blush. And then for bronzer, I used my Fenty bronzer, which looks like this, in the shade Island Tang. Right there. So, and then I lined my lower lash line with the BFF Gel Cream Eyeliner from ColourPop in Charmer. And then my lips are Huda Beauty Trendsetter Lip Liner and the Tom Ford Lip Gloss in Aura. So now we're gonna come back and do our lower lash line. So I think what I'm going to start with is the shade Beauty right here. I'm gonna grab my BK Beauty 205. Now this time I am going to dust it off some because I do kind of care about fallout right now since I put the rest of my face on. You know how it goes. And you can kind of just easily dust it off. I mean, it's nothing major. But I love a good blended lower lash line. Y'all know this. It's one of my favorite things. Okay. I love that color too. I think I put my lash on a little crooked. I am wearing the Eyelure Accent number 5s. Y'all know I wear those all the time. So I think I'm gonna go into something a little bit smaller. This is the BK Beauty 204. And we're gonna go into the Queen shade, which is this deep plum. And just to add a little bit, see how that just adds a little something on the outside of the eye? Okay, that lash is driving me nuts. It will be okay. And then last but not least, let's go ahead and use an inner corner shade. So this is the BK Beauty 207. I love the shape of this pencil brush. We're gonna go into that shade Brooklyn, which is like a cream colored shimmer. I'm gonna spray this with some setting spray. And we're going to place that in our inner corner. See how much that already adds? That simple. And you can definitely look, okay, without, with. That little bit makes such a huge difference. It's not even funny. Inner corner highlight makes all the difference. Okay, I'm gonna take that same brush with that same color and go right below my brow bone. See how that instantly kind of gives an eye lift? There we go. Okay. Let's go ahead and just double check to make sure everything's blended. I always do this. Okie dokie. Lower lash line mascara. Where is it? This one will work. This is the Wander Beauty Mile High Club. I love this little brush, honestly, for lower lash line. I mean, it's not the most phenomenal mascara, but it gets in there for your lower lash lines. Okay, so there is the finished look. What do you think? I think it looks super duper pretty. So let's talk about my thoughts on this palette. Is it basic? Yes. Is it neutral? Yes. If you like neutral tones, it is so pretty. I love it. I love how the look came out. I think that this is a great staple for anybody's eyeshadow wardrobe. Now, you know I'm not going to tell you to go out and buy a new eyeshadow palette, but if you're in the market for a new one, I would definitely recommend checking out a small woman-owned business here in this great state of Texas. So, if you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button right down below. And if you hit the notification bell icon next to it, that will notify you when I post new videos, which is typically every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, but we have been inundated by new products, so I have been posting a whole lot more. But I guess that's it. We'll see y'all later. Bye.